This video was sponsored by Enhance, NeoWatt, A Better Road Planner, Elbilmek, Kempower and Bilkomponenter. Yo, what's up? We are not sitting in Millennium Falcon. Hopefully Millennium Falcon will get a repair estimate from EV Hub in about 1 week, roughly. But this is actually that Model S 2016, the 85D. You can see it because it has the tall headrest. Millennium Falcon has the really first old school lower headrest, and this has this next gen seats. Millennium Falcon has the first gen seats. But actually, yeah, I will tell you that we will look at some Millennium Falcon tests later this video. But before that, okay, I have to tell you about the Zeva test, right? Where everything is done via via like OTA, you know, over the air communication. It doesn't even require you to do a driving test, unlike some other tests, and even the test I do, right? But then it needs access to Tesla toolbox, which is like the holy grail of how Tesla figures out what's wrong with cars. And then also when you repair the car, it needs a toolbox to pair in a new device into the brain. But okay, so I did that test actually on this car we're sitting in right now. And then the test claims that there was some moisture problems. We're gonna also check that. Actually, tomorrow I'm bringing this Model S over to Elbilmek. And you know, this has the old first gen charge port that cannot close by itself. You have to go and, you know, who knows how many times I forgot that on Millennium Falcon. Pull out from the supercharger, drove 10 meters, oh, charge port is open, okay. But the owner here wants it upgraded to the motorized charge port. And then he asked Tesla Service Center over in Sweden, and they said nein, or nay. Yeah, okay. But then Valdemar claims that it's actually possible to upgrade it. So we're gonna see, is it possible or not? There'll be a repair video coming out soon. Also, it's just not so interesting. Maybe we will just replace some of the semi-broken tail lights. But okay, about today's video. Stay tuned because I will show you guys Millennium Falcon report. But after I made the video about the Zeva report on this car, was one guy from Netherlands. He did the test on his car. It's also a 2013 P85, and then supposedly he has some serious problems with the battery. So see here, October. Wow, it's actually slightly older than Millennium Falcon even. Yeah, P85, 220,000 kilometers. I think that's more normal driving, like roughly 10,000, 18,000, 20,000 kilometers per year, you know. State of health is okay, 80%. But what else is it? Yeah, 8% fast charge percentage. Yeah, that's also mostly home charging actually. Charge limit. He's been taking good care of the battery. Yeah, after 13 years. What here? Mild moisture detection. Huh? Okay. By the way, a little bit back and forth here, but in the comment section of the first video, some people claim that Tesla has moisture moisture sensors in the battery, and that is what is being reported. But then I actually spoke to the guys at you know, the creators of Zeva, and they say that it's not entirely true, but then somehow they look at several variables and they are able to figure out that there's a moisture problem. And then actually they invited me over to Netherlands to go check out the whole thing and invite interview the battery experts over there. I was like, oh yeah, I'm not doing that, but I will be able to experience and test it myself. FSD in Netherlands. It's gonna happen by the end of this month. So yeah, okay. Roughly there. We haven't seen the ticket or whatever yet, but okay. So that's gonna be super interesting because actually those guys, they claim that this test that they do that actually needs access to Tesla toolbox, the holy grail of information. That's how Tesla figures out what's wrong with cars, right? It says that the test they do just over the air without even driving the car is so accurate that they could even tell you that, for example, your Tesla is going to break down in 4 weeks. And that it has happened that a Tesla did actually stop after roughly 4 weeks because of some serious problems with the battery. That's how accurate this test is. So, but okay, we have to just see. We're just going to see more about how this is. Okay, back to this. So it claims that there is some moisture problem, and then delta, cell voltage delta is a bit high. And then here's a spread based on some time. It also gathers some actually Tesla logs a lot. Like, dude, like it logs a lot, and it knows for the past month roughly how the voltage delta has been. And also the Zeva guys told me that, okay, if you go further down here, when it comes to consumption here and so on, the old Teslas, they don't log all this, but at least from Model 3, Model Y and beyond, right? From around 2019, it also logs this data, which is also very useful for determining more about what's going on with the car, or what's like wrong with it, or any degradation, or more accurate degradation. But even without driving it, they can already pinpoint down really accurate how the degradation is. But okay. Here, look at it. Okay, charging lifetime. Yeah, mostly AC charging, very little DC fast charging. Wow, not much supercharging at all. Motor integrity is good. Internal motor, okay, all that stuff is good, all right. But then here, okay, similar to the car I'm sitting in right now, there was some it was brick voltage limited. All the modules, but this car even has the cell voltage sensor. So here, you can see it here also. Module 11 has some problems. Well, here is some email when I communicated with this, his name is Menno, he's from Netherlands, and he said that, yeah, he will call them. I'm not sure who he talked to. It could be, yeah, but he talked to someone, right, about the problem. And then he wants to schedule an appointment about the reseal drying, huh? So, wait, is there actually a moisture problem? Huh. And also the cell voltage in pack 11. Yeah, I don't know what's happening here. And then there was another email. And they say that there's some condensation in the battery that has damaged the battery. And one or more circuit boards are affected, and then, so it doesn't behave 100%. And also it seems like supercharging is also affected by this. So, wow, I didn't know, did he notice that the supercharging was going slower or something? I don't know, or I think it's charging faster than normal, huh? And then look at the, so the estimated repair cost is 7,700 euro plus VAT. Holy macaroni, that is a very expensive repair. But then on another email, he said that he contacted Grenade, Dutch company, and then they probably, something like Valdemar maybe, and they can do the repair cheaper, or they even have an upgrade they can do for 7, I mean, you could almost just upgrade the battery and it would be cheaper, right? And you also get the bigger battery and faster charging. So that's how it is so far. I will see and I will update you guys if you want to know more about what's going on with this Dutch Model S. But now over to Millennium Falcon, because yesterday I ran the test on Millennium Falcon, and actually I only need to get the driver's access to it. Like this car here, this Model S does not sit in my account. I just got the driver access to it, and that is enough for me to open up actually Toolbox and everything. So that's what I did. I asked Kim, the owner, to give me access, did all the stuff you guys have seen in the previous video, and here is the result. Yep, you can see that is Millennium Falcon. 28th of September was when he was produced, and he was shipped quite fast over to Norway, because I took delivery in November. No, wait, September, October. Okay, that took a while on the boat, right? But yeah, 413,000 kilometers. 80.1%. It's actually better than the other car here, but you know, as far as I know, he didn't get a battery replacement, right? So that battery is done 220,000, whereas Millennium Falcon, the battery was replaced after 86,000. So he has actually done 320 something, 330,000 kilometers. But you see a lot more supercharging on Millennium Falcon, and also slightly worse charge limit. Not sure how they count the charge limit. Do they count when the charge, if the charge limit was set, or when the charging stopped? Because I tend to set it to 100% on long trip, but I don't actually charge 100%. I charge maybe to 70, 60%, right? But here is Millennium Falcon. Moisture detection, none. And then Delta, IMBA, slight there, okay. What's going on there? There is some data, but the thing is that he wasn't driven that much. You see, he was mostly sitting still. I wonder if this is the thing, yeah, that he was probably sitting still for a while at Valdemar, and then we did some, I drove from Valdemar over to EV Hub, and then it was sitting still there, and then here it was charged at one point, so that's why we don't have that much data there. But here, okay, yeah, consumption here, it says that, okay, this is for, not sure if this is Raven or, yeah, roughly there. So, charging lifetime, okay, lots of fast charging, but actually after I sold the car, it was mostly AC charge, I think, not that much supercharging. Motor integrity, good. That humming sound I heard when I drove Millennium Falcon, I suspect that that was actually the wheel bearings. Could have been in the rear axle, some wheel bearings, because it was quite similar sound I heard on the ZS EV I purchased, but that was in the front wheel, but you know, that was front wheel drive. So it could be that, I mean, it makes sense because the ZS EV, it has so much torque in the front wheel that it tends to wear down the front wheel bearings faster. But then Millennium Falcon is rear wheel drive, so then the rear wheel bearings wear down faster, because just 3 years ago, roughly, Millennium Falcon had a motor replacement. It was just dead, DED, outside of Mølle one day when I was going to pick him up, right? And then I had to go to Thailand, actually, right after. But EV Hub, Nasir, took care of this. They towed the thing over to EV Hub, and then they just took out the motor and then replaced it with a refurbished motor. And then I thought, oh, is it going to break down again? Well, according to this Zeva report, the motor is good. Also, no leakage detected. So this should mean that this is good for Nasir. He's like, oh shit. But it seems like the refurbished or remanufactured, or whatever you call it, the repair motor that sits in Millennium Falcon is in good condition, according to this. And then I saw this green. Oh, there's nothing wrong with Millennium Falcon's battery. It's just that it's a bit degraded, but it's still good. It's good then. Yeah. Oh, yesterday I also got an email, and it was in Dutch. I'm like, what? Okay. Wait, let me see. Maybe maybe the Zeva guys, they should consider fixing this so that it is in English, but at least I can translate it. It says that you receive battery health, blah blah blah. Okay, imbalance, but it's a small. But because it has high mileage, it's pretty good result, and charging behavior, okay. And then what? So because this is weird, because I did not get an email when I tested the other, like this car I'm sitting in right now. So I wonder why they send me this. Is there something? Is there a problem with the battery? It seems like Millennium Falcon battery has less problem than the Model S I'm sitting in right now. So, okay, I don't know. I just got a little bit worried that I got an email from someone here at. It's from Electrify. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I also heard about this from the guy who invited me over to Netherlands. He talked about Electrify. I'm like, huh? It's not Electrify America. That's something that's a CPO, right? No, but okay. But all right. So now we have tested it, and then hopefully maybe Nasir can verify this. I hope he has time to check out Millennium Falcon, because I told Nasir that Millennium Falcon, man, it's going to be super interesting to repair or diagnose or even upgrade eventually. That's why I want to buy him, because I see it's a good opportunity to not only buy my first car. There's some emotion here also involved. Many people, they also vote against buying Millennium Falcons. Like, just scrap it, you know, just keep your soul. I'm like, yeah, but it's just that this is great opportunity to make great content with that car. So it doesn't the same if I just borrow a car like this car, you know. It needs to be my own car, and then I can experience how it works, and then what breaks down, and then how we repair it, and then what goes wrong, and so on. But you know, like Nasir's philosophy is that if something breaks down, we're not going to just replace the whole part of one very expensive part or whatever. They will find out what went wrong, why did it break down, and then can they repair it, try to repair it, you know, and then maybe even make it, the new repaired part, better than the old. So yeah, so super interesting. And then what's going to happen with Millennium Falcon soon? Well, I'm just waiting for them, you know. Valdemar is busy, yeah, I know, that's why it takes some time for this car to get the upgrade. And also EV-Hub, Nasir is also quite busy. It seems like it's like Elbilmek is here. You know, all the old EVs start to get kaput, broken, out of warranty repairs, right? And there is a shit ton of videos I could make with Valdemar and Nasir. For example, I could have a whole series of what's going on with the Jaguar I-Paces now. I've seen some of the stuff on the forums. It's like, if you think that problems with Tesla is bad or severe, just wait until you hear about the I-Pace, man. People get updates, or they get charge limited to 65-70% state of charge. It cannot charge higher, because otherwise the thing is going to catch fire, and people getting limp mode and stuff, and I don't know, man, lots of problems with the I-Paces. But not only I-Paces, fat e-trons, the old Souls with the old batteries are going kaput, or they have 40% state of health, actual, you know. Lots of stuff going on, man, nowadays. So I can understand that those guys, the EV repair shops, they are busy. And okay, I should also mention that, since I already have you guys here, that EV Clinic is also looking for partners in Norway. Yeah, so if you're interested, you can also contact EV Clinic and just Google about them, and then ask them. They want partners. They see the need for lots of repairs. Yeah, so okay, anyway, but Millennium Falcon, at least it seems to be good. And also, I don't know what you guys think, but I should maybe get some more codes, right? Because I have this code which gives me 100% discount, and to me, I like, dude, like Zeva guys, you know, just give me an unlimited code, because I will be testing cars and finding out more about this. Eventually, well, at least what we should do is test the car on the Zeva report, and then go to some workshop and let them inspect the car to see if it actually has all these problems like it claims, right? But this is super interesting that the Zeva test or whatever with the toolbox can figure out so much what's going on with the battery, you know? It's like, if you have an old Tesla, you should invest the money in this test. It doesn't cost that much to just see if there's anything wrong with the car or not. But I'm still in the process of trying to verify how accurate the data is, but it seems to be very accurate. Yeah, okay, but we'll find out more about this. It's not the end of it yet. I'll make more videos of this. So that's gonna be it for now. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, thank you for watching, and talk to you later.